Hello, welcome to today's episode of Cold Hard Complaints Off Topic. Today we're going to be talking about Devilman Crybaby, the latest Netflix original anime series. Is it an original anime series? I don't know. It's at least being distributed by Netflix. It's an anime series. It's on Netflix. We're going to talk about it because it's the hip new thing, and let me tell you, it's pretty great. It's pretty amazing. So Devilman Crybaby is a readaptation of the original Devilman manga series and Devilman anime series back from the 70s. Now, Devilman is not a series I've heard of all that much. It's not a series I've been interacted with all that much. I've heard about it in passing, but it really wasn't something I actively went out and watched. It wasn't something that was previously on my radar. I'll put it that way. And so when Devilman Crybaby came out, I didn't really know anything about it. I knew it's about a Devilman. I know it's a kind of a remake of an older anime, and you know what? I was gonna check it out, and it's pretty good. Pretty good anime series. It's brutal as fuck. If you are not an adult, if you are a child, you should not watch it. Little child, what are you doing? Do not watch this anime. You are too young to experience these things. No, but it is a intense anime. It reminds me a lot of one of my favorite animes that I talk about way too much, Berserk. Because Berserk is amazing, and this has a lot of echoes of Berserk and a lot of the ways they characterize good and evil. There's also the intense brutality of it. It holds no punches. It's a seinen manga to the max. It is right in that seinen genre of being really, really intense, and it has some sort of deeper message beyond it, but I'm not really going to get into the spoiler territory of it because it's only 10 episodes, and really, you should check it out. I'm going to highly recommend you check it out. I'm not going to say it's flawless, and I'm going to talk about some of its flaws in this video because that's what a review is. It's definitely something I would recommend to watch if you can handle the gore, the amount of sexual content that is in there, a lot more boobs than I thought would be in a Netflix series. I keep feeling that I should call it mature, but it feels not really mature. It feels more graphic. Graphic is probably the better word for this because mature would be something that's, I don't know, a little more calmed down and rational, but this is a very graphic anime. This anime is very visceral, very graphic, very emotional. The animation in this is fluid and beautiful. It's very different of a style. It feels very distinct. It feels maybe a little bit like a cross between like Samurai Champloo, a little bit of Fooly Cooly in there. It has its own very distinct style, and I think it really helps it stand apart from other animes. It is very dark anime, like a lot of scenes are really dark, but there is a really good color palette to it that I really enjoyed. What is Devilman Crybaby? Well, it is an anime about a man named Akira who turns into a Devilman. And he cries a lot. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much the entire anime. Now, Akira is this guy. He gets possessed by a demon, but he is powerful enough in his heart to fight it and become a Devilman. A man, half devil, half demon. He fights other demons that are infesting this world, and it feels like a kind of like a Yu Yu Hakusho kind of thing where it's like, gotta fight the evil guy, gotta fight this bad guy, gotta fight that bad guy, gotta fight this bad guy, and then you fight the bad guys, and then you defeat them and you win. It feels like one of those generic animes, kind of like that. It doesn't stay in that plot for long. It doesn't take it very long for it to shoot into something different, and I feel like it's very rushed in the 10 episodes that they have for this Netflix anime. Feels like it could have been a little longer for that story to feel realized. More episodes would have been better for this, I think, to stretch out the story a bit and give more time for everything to breathe. What we have in this, though, is definitely a very good anime. I'm not going to say great anime. I think there's some things that could have been better about it. Mainly, rushing the plot really does hamper it because a lot of these moments feel like they should get more time. Like, it just kind of rushes past a lot of things, but there are moments that it gets, and when it gets those moments, it gets them right. So overall, I would say the story is really compelling, but it could have used more time, which is just kind of what happens when you condense an entire series into 10 episodes. But you know what? That's what it is. I would say the characters are pretty interesting. A lot of them have multiple dimensions to them. They feel very fleshed out and full characters. Definitely the main characters, Akira and Ryo, and Miki, Miko, they all have their own arcs. They all have their own stories that they go through. And I feel like a lot of that is done really well. Another thing this anime does really well is the music in this is fantastic. There is great music from top to bottom in this anime. Background music, some songs that are kind of highlighted. They have some punk Japanese kids who rap, and their rapping I actually really enjoyed it. I'm not a huge fan of rap. I have some rap artists that I enjoy, but it's not a main part of my music repertoire, I should say. But the rapping in this anime was really cool, and I really enjoyed those characters as they actually got integrated into the story. A lot of the other music has a nice fast pace to it that really builds up the action. It's definitely a highlight of this anime is the music is top notch. It's right there. It fits with the action, it fits with the moments, and it elevates everything around it. Part of the way that I didn't hear it as much and didn't focus on it, but it built every scene and made it feel more intense, and that's exactly what it's supposed to do, and it did a great job at that, and I'm really happy with the music. So one of the other things that holds this anime back is I watched it in the English dub, and the English dub isn't terrible. It's not one of the worst things I've ever seen, but it's not great. So the main actor for Akira, I feel like his voice was a bit too whiny. Maybe that was the intention with the character, and I feel like maybe that fit, but listening to it was difficult at times. And there's no disrespect to any of the voice actors who did this. That might have been the direction that was held. I don't feel like it was the best way to go for it, but that's just my opinion on it. The voice acting wasn't terrible, and some characters did better than others. I'm not going to get into a whole breakdown of who did better than who's the best, but I feel like the English voice cast was decent. It wasn't amazing. I feel like that's a comparison to the higher quality we've experienced in modern animes. The voice talents typically are a lot better than what we would get back in the 90s or the early 2000s. Modern day anime has a lot better voice casting, and this is one there. Still, if you're comparing it back to the 2000s, it'd be pretty good. Now it's like, it's okay. Could have been better. But hey, that's just what it is. So that's where I'm basically at with Devilman Crybaby. Really fun, really good, really enjoyed it, but there are parts of it that just don't feel like it all flows together really fluidly. It feels a little condensed, a little cramped, and I feel like that really shows in how fast some of the storylines are kind of breezed through, and I feel like more time should have been given to them. Overall, as an overall story, and as an overall animation, anime, music, all this stuff combined, there's a lot of great action in here, there's a lot of great story, and a lot of great character development and character moments in this anime, so I think it's definitely worth a watch, but be careful, it is not a masterpiece. I've heard people calling this a masterpiece, a masterclass. I don't believe it's that level. It's not up here, but it's there. It's something you should check out and maybe give your own opinion, give your own voice to it. I would actually like to hear what people thought of Devilman Crybaby. I know I have my own opinions, and maybe am I being a bit harsh on it? Maybe I'm not being harsh enough. There's definitely some things, if I wanted to go into spoiler territory, I would kind of rip into a little bit because I felt some things about the end of this anime, but that's not the discussion I'm going to have today. Devilman Crybaby is gory, it's visceral, it has characters that have arcs that are interesting and dramatic, it has great music, it has stunning animation. This animation is a style, fluidness to it that I really enjoy. I've already mentioned, kind of feels like Samurai Champloo, kind of felt like Fooly Cooly in those kind of ways. Felt a little more American than Japanese in parts. Some parts of it screamed some kinds of American animation that I've seen, but it's really, really good. Again, my main criticism of this is that it was so short. 12, 13, some more episodes. 13 episodes probably would have been best. Give it a little more time, make that finale a little more built up, maybe give it a little more space. So we're going to wrap this up pretty quickly. Devilman Crybaby, go check it out. Not perfect, have my issues with it, but definitely worth a watch because, you know what, it's only 10 episodes. You can get through that pretty quickly. I know you can get through 10 episodes of this. But thank you very much for watching this video. Have a nice day, have a nice night, have a nice year or whatever. Stay rad. Goodbye.